So go ahead and sit up straight and tall and take a moment to come into your body. And sorry to not hit record until now. So everything I say now doesn't really make sense. But when we allow ourselves to step outside of the bubble of our comfort, when we expand into that uncomfortable discomfort, we're really, this is where beautiful possibilities can occur. So as you settle into your body and your breath, let's take a moment to think about a time in your life where you really stepped outside of your comfort zone, that you said yes to something that really made you uncomfortable. Um, and what happened? You know, maybe it didn't go as planned. Maybe you fell flat on your face. Maybe you got right back up again. And just notice that even if the results weren't grand, that possibly you experienced some sense of growth, that your comfort zone expanded to include a little more. I listened to a study last night that talked about how when we first don't succeed, when we fail, but we try again, that we have more success, that typically stepping outside of our comfort zone over and over again creates even more expression of growth. So now think of a time when you risked the comfort zone and you stepped out and you literally fell flat on well, maybe not literally, but you fell flat on your face, that you failed in some way, that your risk did not um, create the results that you intended. And what happened? If you got back up and tried again, or did it differently, or had a different awareness around it and tried again, did you notice that your comfort zone expanded exponentially? And think about a time when you didn't get back up and try again and you just retreated back. We've all had all of these experiences. So think about a time when you tried something new, it kind of risked yourself, didn't go well, and you just retreated back. And notice if the retreat solidified more of that boundary between the comfort and discomfort, where it could make it possibly harder to step outside again. So when you think of all these experiences, try not to have judgment for yourself, but to rather just recognize and be aware of how our choices have impacts. And lastly, let's think about something today, just today, that you could do that would step you outside of your comfort zone. Small little things. It doesn't have to be, skydiving. It can be something very simple. Trying a new food, calling an old friend, taking a walk in a place you never have, um, opening your heart in some way. Doesn't matter what it is. See if you can make a little bit of a commitment to yourself to stretch, just like we stretch our bodies, to stretch a bit today. Ease yourself into present moment awareness. Ground in your body, in your breath. Sense of surrender in your shoulders, the ease across your skull, base of your skull. Take a moment to bring your hands together at your heart. And let's offer an intention here. And release your arms down. Okay, so let's find our way onto our mat. Okay. And as you stretch out and lengthen through your body, let's enjoy the simple act of lying down and stretching our arms overhead. Right, so reach your body. Kind of stretching your arms, maybe one side, maybe the other side, and maybe you haven't moved much today, and so you feel a little solidified and you need to liquefy a little bit. So just let a little movement happen. You can kind of stretch one side and the other, let your hips move, let even your head move. And then bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a little hug, and let's rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. All right, and then circle your knees, kind of rolling in one direction a few times here, coming into that sense of softness across the sacrum. Let your head get heavy. Let's roll your pelvis the other way a little bit. So hang on to your knees and spin them the other direction. Let's open up away from the midline and back in, so you have that feeling of moving through your hip joints, beginning to get some warming fluidity in our joints here. So left knee hugging in, and then right knee hugging in, and then left knee hugging in. Stretch your heel all the way when you straighten out that leg, just kind of going back and forth, letting your hips extend and then condense. And same with your knees, a big squeeze and then a release, opening up the backs of the knees, feeling your core kind of churn and turn on a little bit. All right, and then we're going to stay holding the right knee and rest a bit here. And let's feel that movement in our ankles now. So moving around, wiggling your toes, rolling through your ankles, enjoying some mobility in your feet in whatever way you're feeling. Then let's switch sides. Left knee into the chest and right leg long, and feel into that movement again, kind of opening up all the pathways that your feet can provide. Releasing that leg, stretching your body out like a star, feeling that expansion. Let's roll around in our wrists now. Maybe open and close your fists, maybe internally and externally rotate your femur bones. Just find a little movement. Maybe you can open and close your fists kind of fast. Maybe you want to squeeze a little bit in your body. What are you feeling? And then on your next exhale, draw your knees into your chest and pick up your head and give a good rounded squeeze in. And then release your head on the ground, arms straight out to the sides, feet on the ground, hip width apart or a little wider. And let's start to rotate through our spine, windshield wipering your knees left and right. Something so simple, but try to feel that you can travel this all the way up your spine. So turn your head in opposition of your knees. Feel your ribs start to feel the pose. And then we're going to go a little deeper. So when we drop our knees over left, pick up your right foot and kind of swing it over there to the left. Place it back down as knees drop right. Pick up your left knee and swing it a little bit further. And just back and forth, kind of letting the spine say good morning. There's a lot of nice gentle twisting. Feel your chest start to open up here. All right, and then we're going to roll all the way to our right side. Make some right angles with your joints, palms together. Take a deep breath. Open up like a book, finding your full thoracic spine. Twist open now. And then exhale and bring the hands back together.
Turn your head. You can decide whether you want your knees to glue together or for them to slide apart. It'll just change where you feel the twisting in your spine. And let's come back to this on your back and roll over to your other side. Make right angles with your knees and your hips. Open up your chest. Turn your head with that arm as it opens. Nice and gentle awakening of the body. Trying to get into so many of the joints of the body. We're, kind of rippling through our spine now, letting the head turn. Feel free to breathe deeply and well. And relax. And let's come onto our back and stretch your body like a big giant star again. And then as your exhale comes, knees into your chest, round the spine. Let's find that one more time, getting spacious and big. And then exhaling, getting small and snug. And let's roll all the way to our side now and come up onto your hands and your knees. Draw back onto your heels for a moment. Place your palms on the ground, fingertips pointing toward your knees, and then just rock back with your hips toward your knees, forward and back, just opening up some of the muscles in our forearms, and spread your hands wide. You might get a little zing in your hands. And then release that. And we're going to come up onto our shins, arms coming all the way to the sky. And then exhale and lower down, child's pose, arms down at your sides. Finding breath. And now we're going to do the same thing, but this time our palms are going to face up. So fingertips pointing toward our knees, palms facing up. Turn the eyes of the elbows as far forward as you can. And just have a little teeny bit of rocking. So it requires a little effort in your legs. Just get rocking a little bit, opening up those muscles in our wrists and forearms and even into your elbows. And then release that one more time, arms coming up. Full breath. Exhale, hands and knees on the ground. Now, if your wrists are a little tender, feel free to give them a little shake because that was a lot. We're going to come right into some cat-cows. Of course, you can put fists on the ground if you're still feeling a little need for neutral in your wrists after that big stretch. Start to feel the movement of your vertebrae. Connect into the sensation of your pelvis connecting to your spine, your shoulder blades sliding on the ribs connecting to the spine, the ribs connecting to the sternum, and the collarbones connecting to the sternum, the collarbones connecting to the shoulder blades. We're also connected, so just feel all of this. Let your head move and move around any way you want to. So how many joints have you explored so far in your body? Is there anywhere that you feel like you haven't explored very well? We're still going to do a few more warm-up motions here. Curl under the toes and stretch back to child's pose with your toes curled under. So open up the bottom of your feet. And let's move ankles away from each other and then ankles toward each other. Just feeling your feet in a unique way. Come back up onto all fours. Give those feet a little bit of a smack on the ground. And then let's find a twist here. Left arm lifting high to the sky. And then exhale and slide that shoulder down. Feeling your head rest on the ground. Feel the breath move into the ribs and the back of your body. All right, now when we come out of this pose, we're only going to come halfway out of this pose so that we can find a posterior capsule stretch in the shoulder. So slide the hand a little bit further back and then find child's pose, facing the floor with your chest. Feel your collarbones broaden. Open up through that AC joint where your collarbone meets your shoulder. See if you can feel a little space in there even as it compresses. Open up the back of the shoulder. And then inhale, and let's reach that arm all the way back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. Let's switch sides. Arm lifting high. Exhale, slide that arm underneath, twisting this way. Feel the depth of the twist in your spine. We've already done a little bit of twisting, but notice the difference here. Let your breath kind of reach into any little corner that it can find. And then we're gonna face the floor, let the arm kind of slide back a little bit. So facing the ground, shoulder blades and collarbones broaden. Feel that AC joint where the front of your shoulder is, where your collarbone meets your shoulder. See if you can melt in there. Find your breath. Relax the base of your skull. And then we're going to reach that arm all the way back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground, back to a regular child's pose. Let your feet be normal. Walk your hands. And lately, maybe it's because of my shoulder, I don't know, but I've been really liking kind of rocking into one side and then rocking into the other side. So, get into your hips, get into your ribs, your shoulders, whatever feels nice. And settle and soften your skull. Walk the hands to one side or the other. So we start to invite that big opening in the side of your body. Feel your shoulder open up, your sit bones drop down. And then inch yourself over to the other side, feeling that openness through the ribs, feeling your head get heavy, relax through the base of the skull. How are we ever supposed to step out of our comfort zone if we can't even step into our bodies? So our yoga practice prepares us for being grounded and landing squarely within ourselves, no matter what we encounter. So practicing embodiment is a great way to practice courage, to be the eye of the storm when we feel uncomfortable, to be stay accountable, present, not disassociate. Come back up onto all fours, wiggle around the spine. We got one more big stretch to do before we come up to dog pose. So hands walking forward. Let's drop the chest down. Our hips stay high, puppy pose, and feel the thoracic spine kind of find its way into this position. Open up the breath. And then walk your hands back and your knees forward, and let's find all the way ourselves coming all the way up into dog pose. Now, as you find this posture, still keep with the movement. Movement is a great way to warm up your body. Notice we haven't really stayed still in static poses. We've been kind of exploring joint movements and getting fascia to open up and move, and continue that here. Pedal your feet, drop one knee down, maybe bring your knee across the midline in front of the other knee and lift that other hip high. Just kind of find what do you want to do? Where does your body want to feel? All right, and feel stillness start to come on, where we can ground and yield, and the movement becomes much more dynamic on the inside. Feel your breath. And then walk your feet forward, come to Uttanasana, bend your knees. Now we get to open up our bigger muscle groups with some a little deeper stretching. Let your head bob or melt. Let your hips sway if you want, shoulders, whatever feels good. And then let's inhale and find a halfway lift, and let's hang out here for a moment. So if you have blocks, put your hands on blocks instead of your legs, so you can have your hands right under your shoulders and feel that length of the spine. Root your thigh bones way back. Feel the openness of your feet. Maybe lift your toes and feel the four corners of your feet ground. Engage your quads without pushing your knees back. Feel that long spine. And then let's melt again. Relax your spine down. Interlace your hands at the base of your skull. A little tug on the base of the skull, opening up the back line of your spine. Then release your hands, a halfway lift again. Spine gets long. Now, if you know your ups and downs make you a little dizzy, instead of going back down, start from here, pause and half lift, and then slowly rise up. If you like to drop down into Uttanasana and then find your way up, that's another way to do it. There's always options, adaptabilities in our practice, always, okay? All right, reach your arms up, feel that extension, open the heart. Okay, let's give a good squeeze to the back body, cactus your arms and feel what's back there, hug your shoulder blades, and then lift your arms up again. This time grab onto the right wrist with the left hand and find that side body length. You can take your legs a little wider apart if that feels more stable. And we're gonna swing forward, and when you get to the midline, switch and grab onto the other wrist, and then reach up to the side stretch here, other side, grounding through your feet. All right, and come all the way back up. One more time, a cactus arms, and then release your hands down. Interlace your hands behind your back. Open up through your throat, and then exhale and come forward. And let your hands leave your spine to wherever they go. Opening up the fronts of the shoulders here. Relax your neck. And then release your hands back down. Put your legs together. Let's find our way to a chair. Arms coming up or out or anywhere you want them to be. Let's feel strength now starting to find its way into your body. Palms together or arms up or arms out, whatever feels good. Now for this next little variation, well, first let's come up and out of the pose and come up onto your toes. Okay, have a moment to practice a little bit of discomfort of balance. And then when you settle your heels back down and go back into a chair, instead of your arms overhead, either choose palms together or maybe arms out to the side so you have a little extra balance capacity. Root down into your right foot, and we're gonna hover the left foot up off the ground. Feel your glutes, your core, your pelvic floor, your hamstrings. Let everything share the efforting. And we're gonna slowly stand up on that leg, reach your left foot or left leg up in the air, stretch the arms upward, and then exhale and place that foot down. Focus your gaze softly, so try not to harden your gaze. Drop down into a chair pose again. So our legs are together or a little apart, whatever feels good. Choose the pathway of balance that helps, your arm movements can help. So bearing weight into our left foot. Just a little hovering of our right foot over the ground. Start to feel that sense of stability in your left leg. Root down through your pelvis, all the way into your heel. Feel that your core and your pelvic floor are helping your hips and your glutes and your quads and your everything. And then we're going to slowly stand up, minimize the wobble in that knee as best as you can, reach the arms, feel that extension, and then place your foot down onto the ground. Pause here for a moment. A full breath in, full breath out. Let's go ahead and step our left foot back, our right foot in front. Come to a lunge. Feeling into that extension of the heart and the hip. And let's start to find the flow of our breath. Live inside your body, sense sensation, and let it be an anchor for your mind. Also, your breath can be this beautiful anchor for your mind. I don't know about you, but anytime I have stepped outside of my comfort zone, my breath has been my greatest ally in that action. Sometimes when you're nervous about something and you have to take that leap of faith, your heart can start racing, you can get sweaty, whatever else happens to you, but our breath is always a friend. Find your ground, root into your feet. Come on up, crescent lunge, arms finding their way, take them where you want them to be. A big breath here, and we're gonna twist to the right. Drop the shoulders down. Arms can be out to the sides or hands can be on your hips as well. Anchor that front foot. Feel free to bend the back knee a little bit if you need a little more in touchness with the ground. And then swing those arms back up in the air. Feel that open heart. Hands down onto your blocks, half splits. Extend and lengthen here. Extend your heart forward. Extend your heel back. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, Jiva squat. So we've already said hello to these muscles in that one-legged chair. Let's say hello again. Inhale to straighten your legs. Exhale. Bend on it. One more time. Feel that expansion. And then feel that condensement. Core, pelvic floor, legs, glutes, everything sharing. Reach your leg out. Let's step our leg all the way back. Crescent lunge one more time. Reach the arm up in the arms, up in the air. Feel the heart expand. And then hands down. Back foot comes forward. Fold in Uttanasana. Relax and enjoy the opening of your body as it slowly finds its way. You're probably feeling more free than you did when you first stepped onto your mat. Find your breath, a halfway lift. Melt and fold. Head relaxes. Soften the base of your skull. Step your right foot back. Left foot is in front. Feeling into your lunge here. Hip flexors, heart, all lengthening and opening. Okay. Let's begin to bend and straighten that front knee. Feel your way into your breathing. Go slow enough where the sensations of your body are speaking loudly to you, that you have good mind connection with sensation. Following the breath. When you feel ready, when you feel like you're ready for a grounding lunge, find it. And come on up to crescent lunge as you feel set. Okay, reaching the arms if it feels good. Otherwise, maybe your arms are doing something different. Open up through your heart. Feel that extension in the body. And we're going to twist open to the left. Feel your spine, do the movement. Hug to the midline. Feel with your legs, feel your back knee. If it's feeling a little strained, try bending it a little teeny bit. And then reach the arms back up in the air. Hands come down onto the ground. Let's find half splits on this side. Hands on blocks. Any height that feels good. But if you're on the high height like I am, this can get wobbly. So be, very sure that you're not gonna kind of fall off the block. Extend, lengthen, find your breath. Lift that left hip up. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, that familiar sensation in your glutes and hamstrings, Jiva squat. Push off slow, minimize your wobble. We're getting those stabilizing muscles to turn on. Feel your foot on the ground. How's your breathing relating to the movement through these squats? One more time. Straightening that leg out. Take a step back, coming into a lunge. Once you feel steady, reach the arms up again. Crescent lunge. Heart is open and expansive. And then release your hands down. Stretch back, dog pose. Such a lovely posture. Be here now. Yield, there's nowhere to go. Let's come forward to a plank and feel that sturdy steadiness. You can always put your knees down like me if need be. Shoulders away from the ears. Integrate your ribs. How's your breath? And let's lower ourselves all the way down to the ground. Take a moment to liquefy your shoulders so we're moving the shoulder blades. Inhale for a cobra pose. Open chest. Exhale, melting back. One more time. Rising up. Exhale, coming down. Bring your arms out in front of you. You can have them wider than your shoulders or in line with your shoulders, whatever feels good. Stabilize your core so that you can almost feel your floating ribs lifting away from the ground a little bit. So try not to squeeze your butt cheeks together, but we want to have some engagement through the pelvis. Take a deep breath. We're going to lift the right leg and the left arm, feeling that cross line in the back of the body, and then melt and release that back. Second side, finding that pathway in the body, release and relax. One more time each side. Notice if there's a pattern that's more familiar, more solidified, versus one that's not. We all have patterns in our body. Neck is long, keep it neutral. Melt. Come up onto your hands and move around your spine. Wag your tail, circle, anything that's going to release the back bends after a bit. If you want to move down towards child's pose, you can, whatever feels good in your body. Find our way to dog pose. Full breaths here. And then come to Uttanasana. Relax your skull, let your whole back line open. And then find your way up. Now you might need to come through half lift and pause there, whatever feels good. A big breath, lifting your arms up. We're going to take our right arm on top of the left arm, eagle arms. Drop the shoulders, lift the chest, and widen those collarbones like we did earlier in that posterior capsule stretch. Wide collarbones. Try to lift the elbows up. Pull them away from your body a little bit. Drop the tips of your shoulder blades down. And just enjoy. Maybe you feel a good stretch in your neck or show the tops of your shoulders, whatever feels really nice to you. And then release that and feel how grounded you are with 2 feet on the ground. We're going to do this pose, the full pose, in a moment. So enjoy just doing the arms where we feel these deep roots. Arms coming up, other arm. Now for me, I can't do this side very well, so I'm just going to cross and hold my hands to my shoulders. Okay. And whatever works for your body, whatever's giving you the range of motion that you're seeking. Drop the shoulders, collarbones widen, lift the elbows up and forward just a little bit. Find your breath and just enjoy this stretch. Melt the base of your skull, relax your tongue and your jaw and your eyes. Release your arms, okay? Bring them up one more time, feeling that open heart. Let's have a cactus through the open heart. And then release your hands. Stepping outside your comfort zone a little bit with some balance. We're going to stand on our right leg. Our left leg is going to be on top. We're going to bring our right arm on top. Now, if you need help with balance, you can do this with your backside against a piece of furniture or a wall. But I encourage you, unless you really feel like you're going to fall down, to experiment with stepping outside your comfort zone. If you always do the pose with support, maybe have your butt an inch away from the wall so you can practice stepping outside that comfort zone. Now, once you're here, Give a good squeeze of your arms and your legs. Lift your chest, lift your elbows. And now just maybe squint your eyes. Maybe don't close your eyes, but squint your eyes. Take your vision offline just a little bit. Breathe into the armpits and the side ribs. Good squeezing. Feel your feet, spread the bones. Unwind to this posture, a standing star. Nice big wide stance, open the heart. And then release your hands down. Let's find the second side. We're going to stand on our left leg. So as you cross the right leg over, maybe your butt is against a wall, maybe it's an inch from the wall, maybe you can always reach and touch something if you need it for balance. Squeeze the legs. Our left arm's going to be on top. Find the position that works for your body. Squat down in. So I can't do the arms on this pose, but if I could, I'm getting there, but not quite there. But if you can, do the eagle arms, drop the shoulders, spread the collarbones. Squeeze your armpits, squeeze your thighs. Breathe deeply under your armpits. Soften your gaze, squint your gaze. Take as little amount of vision as you need. And then unwind out of the posture, standing star again, let everything flush. With your legs nice and wide, lean forward. Wide-legged stance, relax your skull. Soften into this posture, let your head relax. Turn your toes out. Since we're here, let's just open up our inner thighs a little bit. A muscle group we haven't really gotten to. So let's feel into that freedom as you hold your elbows against your knees and let them open. Standing on up, and take your time. If you know you get dizzy, you can always pause halfway. And then heel toe your feet back in. Finding your feet at the front of your mat. Pause in Tadasana, close your eyes. So this is a posture, especially if our feet are a little wider, we can get away with not relying on our vision. Turn your palms open. Unlock your knees. Ground through your feet. Step our left foot back, but not into a long lunge, into a shorter lunge, and have a couple of blocks. Okay? So Parsvottanasana, legs, hands on blocks. We're going to square up our hips, root down through our right big toe as we reach the hip back. Inner spiral your inner thighs. Feel it ever so slight anterior tilt to the pelvis. Root through both feet. Feel the long, spacious spine. Release, float your neck. How's your breathing? Slowly start to let that hamstring open up a little bit. Walk the back foot forward. Come to Uttanasana. Fold deeply. A halfway lift. Step your right foot back, shorter stance. Adjust your feet. You can take them wider, left, right, wider if you want. Whatever feels good. Root down through your left big toe mound. Reach that hip back. Unlock your knee. If you're very mobile, sometimes it's easy to just lock out into hyperextension in that front knee. So find the micro bend. Extend the spine. Feel the inner groins roll back a little bit, just the ever so slight internal rotation. The tipping of the tail up, just a little hat tip up. Feel the extension. How's your breath? Can you feel the spreading of your hamstrings? Not just like one skinny little line, but widen the stretch. Walk your back foot forward. Hold deeply again. Come into a very full variation of Uttanasana. Maybe grab your elbows. Maybe put your hands under your feet. Maybe feel your legs straighten and you come a little deeper. Whatever kind of variation feels really good in your body right now. And then we're going to bend our knees a lot and come to stand up. Just find a little wiggle. And we're going to step our right foot in front and our left foot behind. Short stance again. We're finding a twist. Let's start with just our arms up and twist to the side. And just kind of get used to the idea of twisting the spine. Root into your feet. See if you can imagine while you're here that you have a set of eyes on your ASAS, on your hip bones that point straight forward. And then a set of eyes in your head you can turn. And then come back up. Find your breath. Stretch forward. Bring your hands onto blocks. Check in with your back. So you don't want to go too deep. You want to be able to support your spine. So it might be helpful to stack 2 blocks, one on top of the other, so that you have a little length in your spine. Feel the extension here. We're going to come into Pasrita Trikonasana. So drop weight into the grounded right big toe and reach that right hip back. Lengthen the spine. Feel all the things we did in Parsvottanasana, that inner spiral, the slight lift of the tail, the long spine. Once you're coming into the full twist, drop your shoulder blades. Remember that collarbone spreading. Feel the roots of your feet. Feel the length of your spine. Feel the heart reach to the hands. Take your breath. It's guiding you into the pose. And then relax and come back to center. Back foot forward, half lift, hands on blocks, tip the tail up, and step your right foot back. Parsvottanasana in your legs. Come on up to stand, ground through your legs. Feeling your arms lift to the sky. Let's twist open, arms out or hands on hips. Feel your inner thighs roll back. Do you have 2 sets of eyes? And come back up. Find your breath. Reaching forward. So now our right hand is going to come onto our block stack. Maybe you have 2 blocks. Maybe you have 1 block. Maybe you need to take your feet a little wider, left or right, or whatever adjusts to the place where you're like, yes, I can ground here. This feels stable. My back feels good. I can support with my pelvic floor, my core. Find all that grounding before you start twisting. So we feel the grounding first, then we feel the length of our spine, then connect with your breath, and then start to twist open into the pose. Heart to hands, crown to tail, pelvis to feet. Come out of the pose. Put your 2 hands on the ground. Find a dog pose, extending through your spine. Balance, equality between your 2 hemispheres. Come forward into a plank. Put your knees down. If need be, shoulders away from the ears. Find your way all the way to the ground. Bring your arms down at your sides, palms facing the ground. Take your legs a little wider apart. Everything lifts up, 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 up. Find your breath. And then melt and relax. Hands underneath your head. Pick up your feet. Windshield wiper your knees. Nice and gentle and easy on your back. Draw your left knee up high toward your armpit. Just let your back start to relax here for a moment. And then switch sides. We're not moving into the twist. I'm sorry if you really want to move into the twist, move into the twist. Other knee up high toward your armpit. Your torso is low. Release your back. And then relax that leg. And we're going to come onto our back and have a block handy. You might have an urge to bring your knees to your chest, and we will do that in a moment. But first, let's go the other way. Block between your thighs. We're going to do 2 bridges, one active, one passive. Root the 4 corners of your feet. Lift up, climb to the tops of your shoulders. Open through your heart. Hug the block wherever it landed. Find that work of symmetry across your sacrum, hugging evenly. Left and right sides. Ground your feet well. Relax your head and your neck. Fill up your lungs. Feel those side bodies open. And then melt and relax your hips. Second pass is a passive one. Put the block or blocks underneath your pelvis, across your pelvis, so you feel your pelvic bones, not just your sacrum, resting on the block, whatever height feels nourishing to you. Now there's so many variations you can do here. Follow the instincts of your body. Maybe your one leg or both legs want to go straight on the ground with your heels down. Maybe you want to bring your legs up in the air for a modified leg up the wall. Maybe you want to stay right where you are. Okay, so follow the instincts of your body. Full breaths here. Whatever you're choosing to do. All right, no matter what you've chosen up till now, maybe join me to knees toward your chest, a little traction for your lumbar spine. I think this feels best with the block on its lowest height, but you do you. And then legs lifting up, and feel as if all the weight of those heavy femur bones just drop into the pelvis. All the lymph and blood, everything, all your cellular tissues and fluids just can kind of soften down toward your heart, letting gravity kind of be the waterfall, taking your body in opposition to our usual stance against gravity. So good to do a little bit of inverting as often as you can. Start to feel your heart slow down a little bit. Nice and steady breathing. Heaviness in your head and shoulders. Our knees and put our feet on the ground. Get that block out of there. Rest down for a moment. Just let your pelvis find the ground, your spine find the ground. You have a choice to either, you always have a million choices, but the 2 offerings, the 2 invitations, is either to cross your right thigh over your left thigh, kind of like those eagle poses we did, or right foot on your left knee. So we're either going to find our way into reverse pigeon pose, or thigh crossed over thigh, and grab your knees and bring them toward your chest, or any variation. Everybody's hips are capable of different things. So find a place of ease and comfort into a hip stretch for you. The head is heavy and relaxed. Let your body just open up here. Ready, you can release that down and switch sides, maybe do the same pose on this other side. Maybe your hips require a change on this side from what you did on the other side, so whatever feels good. Breathing deeply. Make sure your head can relax. A sense of ease in your body. Finally, maybe you want to stretch to a star and then into a ball. Maybe you'd rather do a happy baby pose. Maybe you'd like to rock. Maybe a twist, maybe a rocking plow. Anything goes. So follow the intuition of your body. What is it telling you that it needs before Shavasana? And once you are settled, no rush to get there. Feel your embodiment as you give yourself the treat of Shavasana. It's like dessert. And we just get to find this ease and presence in our bodies. So feel your embodiment and recognize that when we are fully engaged, mind, body, spirit, breath, when we have all this integration and presence, that we're more capable, we have more capacity, more resiliency, more adaptability to let ourselves in both mind and body step outside of our comfort. To know, feel how prepared you are right now to offer yourself fully to your day. And then melt and rest. Let your body sink into the floor. Scan from the crown of your head through the base of your skull into your neck and shoulders. Just scan all the way down and notice if there's places where you could release a little more. Find the freedom of your breathing. Feel free to wiggle through your wrists and fingers and toes. And any other part of your body that needs a little awakening. Maybe bring your knees in and rock a little bit, whatever feels really yummy in your body. Eventually finding your way to your side. Enough to sit. Taking your time, moving very slowly. Okay. Let's place our hands together at your heart. Feel your breath. Let's offer this gift of our practice. How you feel in your body right now. Offer this presence to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. And remember your yoga homework of stepping outside of your comfort zone with some small thing or big thing today.